What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. We are here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Wednesday, December 18th, 2024. My name is Chris Drummond. I'm a freelance sports reporter based out of Minnesota here, also work in sales and proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard and Play Harder, where I bring individuals on to talk about their why and get to know them outside of their occupation. I got a special guest that's going to be coming on with me today. Her name is Natalie Clark. She has over 15 plus years of experience in journalism as a reporter and anchor in the state of Ohio. She also went to BGSU, which is Bowling Green State University. And we're going to talk to her about her why of getting into journalism and get to know her a little bit outside of her occupation. She has since then transitioned out of news journalism. So we're also going to talk to her about her transition and see what she is up to nowadays. Without any further ado, I introduce to you the wonderful, talented, and the beautiful Natalie Clark. Hello there. How you doing?
Did I do it?
Yes, you did. We finally are on. We're good. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, Chris?
I'm doing very well. Very well. You look absolutely lovely, by the way. Just wanted to say that.
You're very sweet. Thank you. You look
Good.
very handsome yourself.
Why? Thank you. I definitely tried. I definitely tried. That's for sure.
Oh my
I just want to
gosh.
say thank you for coming on to my podcast.
Yeah, of
Hard play
course.
hard. I really do appreciate it. And how is your week going so far?
Good. Busy mom life, you know?
Yeah,
That's all I'm doing now.
I can understand. I can understand that. And I don't know how many you have as far as kids go, but I'm guessing it's multiple. Is it multiple children?
I have one daughter.
One daughter. Oh, okay. Got you. Got
She is like having multiple. If you met her, you would understand.
you know what? I'm gonna go off your word, and then I'm convinced. So that's okay. That's all right. I love it. I want to reiterate to you, Natalie, why I wanted to have you on here on my podcast. I know you have over 15 plus years of experience in the journalism field as a reporter and an anchor in the state of Ohio, if I'm not mistaken. And I
Mhm.
know I'm a journalist as well. I'm going into year 7 in 2025.
Wow.
But I've covered all different kind of stories. You covered all different kind of stories. I love to hear about your why and your story of why you came into the industry. I think everybody has a story to tell. And we're so used to getting the stories that we don't have a chance to sit down like this and talk about your why and your story. And that's one of the major reasons why I wanted to talk to you because I think you're excellent at what you do. Now I know you transitioned out of the news
Mhm.
journalism as well, and I would love to hear. I know you said busy mom, but I'd love to hear some of the things that you're doing now, and also talk about that transition as well. So I definitely have some questions lined up here for you. But I'm thankful that we finally um, got together. I'm thankful that you did this. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you for wanting to chat with me. I really appreciate it. Um, and I'm sorry for all the chaos in order to get to this point, but I appreciate you. Um,
No,
Yeah, I think that my why began as this is something I wanted to do. I think I was about 16 years old when I started competing in pageants, which is really crazy, but I was, and I remember being such a good writer and really loving to write and tell stories and be so expressive. And I loved being in front of the camera. And growing up as a little girl, I wanted to be an actress, which is really crazy.
okay,
But the older I got, I realized that was probably not going to happen because I was just some small Ohio country girl and I really didn't want to leave my family. So I
right.
decided journalism. You know, I loved current events. At the time, I was really into politics and what was happening, and I loved sharing stories. And so I kind of got into the business for me. I was my why at the beginning. And then I continued to do it because my family was my why, but that's also the reason I got out of the business was because my family is my why now.
I love that. I do. And that's a great first answer to answering about your why of getting into the industry and also your transition of your why. The next question I would have for you is I believe you went to Bowling Green State University, if I'm not mistaken. And then if I was doing my research right, the Ohio Media School you also went
Mhm.
to as well. Talk to me about those two particular places And were there any other schools that could have persuaded you from going to those particular schools?
Well, what's really crazy is I always struggled with school. I
Mm,
struggled in high school, junior high. I mean, I just struggled learning. I was more of a hands-on kind of person.
yep.
I graduated many, many years ago. I graduated in 2000 from high school. So I'm old. I mean, I'm 43 years old now. And
Mm,
I
okay.
ended up, I know, I'm very old. I'm sorry. Bella's texting me from school. So anyways, I went to Bowling Green State University. I went to a branch because, like I
Hmm.
said, I struggled with leaving my parents. I struggled with leaving my family. I didn't like to learn. I wasn't good at learning. That's probably why I didn't like to go to school. And believe it or not, you're the first person who I'm going to tell this to. Are you ready?
I'm
This
ready.
is this is breaking news, Chris.
Okay.
I stopped college after my associate degree, and nobody knows that. No employer who ever hired me, they don't know that I stopped there.
Wow.
And and the reason I did was because it took me 3.5 years to get a 2-year degree. College and school wasn't for me. And I don't think it's for everybody, if I'm being honest, because it wasn't for me. So obviously it's not for everybody, right?
You're right.
So I continued to compete in pageants and I ended up competing in the Miss Ohio pageant. And I competed several years there. In my final year, I made the top 10. I earned
Mm,
some scholarship money. And I thought, what am I going to do after this? I don't want to go to college. I don't want to
right.
continue. I know
Right.
it is what it is. But I ended up, a girlfriend of mine was a successful anchor in Louisiana, and her name was Heidi. And she said, have you ever considered going to the Ohio Center for Broadcasting? And I said, no, I don't even know what it is. And she's like, well, you're an hour from Cleveland, where I was living with my parents. So why don't you just go? Because she's like, I did. And that's how she got great internship opportunity and became a success in the business. And so I was like, uh, let's do it. So when I went there, it was a certificate. You didn't graduate and get a degree, you just graduated and got a certificate.
Okay.
And it was incredible internship opportunities. And I feel like in this business, your foot in the door is basically all you need, right? Chris, you know that. You get your foot in the door, you prove what you can do. And I really think that they don't care about what education you had at that point. I mean, maybe they
Right.
do, and it's just my little secret. They don't know. but but I ended up doing that. And I got an internship at WEWS News Channel 5 in Cleveland, which I did briefly
Right.
there.
Mm,
I entered at, I think it was called Cox 45 cable channel out of the Cleveland area, Akron area. I did that. And then when I graduated, I was engaged to be married to my now husband. And my cousin, who had her own show at CNN Headline News in Atlanta, she's like, come down the summer after you graduate from this school and intern for me. And so I did. And so I went down
wow.
there. Yeah. So I interned at Headline News in Atlanta for Robin Mead. It
Yep.
was, yeah, Good Morning Express, I think HLN, whatever, with Robin Mead. So, anyways, I did that with her for like the whole summer. And then, believe it or not, I came back and I had no job because my husband was based out of Mansfield for his career. And I'm like, what am I going to do in Mansfield? Well, there's a small TV station in Mansfield. And so I just knocked on their door. Literally, I walked in and introduced myself to the news director at the time, very small, privately owned station in Mansfield, North Central Ohio. And about a year and a half after someone finally left, they offered me a position.
Wow, look at you. Okay, I like that. Well, I can definitely tell you the camera definitely loves you, Natalie. There's no question about that.
You're so
No
sweet.
question. No
Thank
question.
you.
I never
Thank
would
you.
have thunk 43. Now, obviously,
Oh,
I'm in my 30s. I'm in my 30s, so I would have definitely said maybe mid 30s to high 30s for you, but not 40s. That's for sure.
hey, I'll take it. But I'll also tell you, I love telling people how old I am because I feel like with age comes knowledge and
Yeah.
sometimes good knowledge and sometimes not so good, right? So I feel like I can tell people what I've done right along the way and what maybe I didn't do so well.
Absolutely. And you know what? I love your transparency. I appreciate that for opening up about that. School is not for everybody. That's for
No.
sure. I didn't really
Mm-mm.
like school either, but you were kind of drilled into your mind that, if you want to do this, you need that. And nowadays it's different. Especially with these
Yeah.
influencers and people on social media, and social media has grown
Right.
so much. It's really hands-on kind of things now that you need. And like you can
Hmm.
film stuff from your phone. You don't need to go borrow equipment. You can just do everything with your phone, or
Right.
with some order off Amazon or something like that, equipment
Right.
like that. So
Exactly.
it's definitely different for sure. Robin Mead, your
Yes.
cousin?
She is. She is a distant cousin of
Wow, I'm
mine.
a
Yeah.
huge fan of hers. She's definitely
Oh,
somebody who I definitely want to talk to because I followed her for a while because that's where I went to undergrad. I went to undergrad in Atlanta, Georgia,
wow.
at Kennesaw State
Wow.
University.
Such a
So
good
she's
city.
definitely a huge fan of hers. No question. I would definitely reach out to her at some point and see if I can get her on
Yeah.
here. We'll
Yeah.
see.
I'll reach out too and we'll see if we can make a connection with Robin.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you some favorite things, Natalie, and you
Okay.
just give me the 411 off the rip based upon what those favorite things are. Okay, so are you
Let's
with
go. Yeah. I'm right
me? Let's
here.
do it. Let's do it. Favorite meal you like to cook?
Oh gosh, favorite meal I like to cook. Oh, I'm really good at soups. I know that sounds weird, but I don't follow recipes. I just create things and I've come up with really fun creative recipes when it comes to a different variety of soups. So I would say I love to create soups, but my number one thing to make obviously is like cookies. Like that's my
Okay,
jam.
I'm with you on that. Now, I like soup. Cream of broccoli is probably my favorite one.
Okay, yeah, that's
Um,
good.
yeah, I love that one for
Yeah.
sure. Okay, I like that. What is your favorite concert you've ever attended?
Justin Timberlake. I saw his recent concert in Cleveland with my best friend from high school,
Right.
and he's insane. He's so good. He's so talented. And he's easy on the eyes, so it's like, everything about it.
Right, right, absolutely. I've seen him 3 times.
Really?
So
Wow.
yeah, first time was security wise. I saw him. So I did event security in Atlanta, Georgia, and I had a chance to do event security at different venues. And I saw his the Strawberry album, the 2020 experience.
Yes. Yes.
So I did that one for security. Now the one I
Wow.
attended was the Man in the Woods.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. I never got to see it, but I saw everything on Instagram and I thought that looked incredible.
Oh yeah, it was. He had 2 stages. He would walk back to stage A and walk all the way to stage B. He was
So good.
definitely sing, and yeah, I had a chance to see him do that. And then I saw another one of his as well, but that was actually way back when his Future Sexy Love Sounds.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, good for
Hmm.
you. He's so talented.
Yes, indeed. Favorite place you've ever traveled to?
Oh, I mean, my favorite place I've ever gotten to see is New York City. I love New York City. I think it's just so magical. And when I went to BG, I majored in theater because I really wanted to be an actress. So New York City.
Okay,
What
I
about
would
you?
say
I have to ask you. I have to ask you.
yeah.
Where's your favorite place you've ever seen?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Jamaica, no
Ooh.
question. Recently just went on a cruise. And we went to Cozumel, Mexico, Cayman Islands, Bahamas, and Jamaica.
Oh, well,
Jamaica,
that
hands
sounds amazing.
down,
Wait, now
was
why?
amazing. It was amazing. Beautiful food. Jerk chicken was
Okay.
amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
The views were absolutely lovely. I was walking on a Jamaican beach. I was seeing people dance. The weather was hot. Don't get me wrong, it was hot out there,
Okay.
but it was still great. And it's just the people, the vibe. I love this
Yeah.
so much. We took photos of an old church. We got driven around the city. Um, just a beautiful experience. Now that might change because this next year, I'm going to be going on a solo cruise. And this I'm going to Greece next June. So
Seriously.
yeah,
And you're going by yourself?
yep, it's going to be a singles cruise. Yeah, singles cruise. It might be a couple adults, but most of it's a singles cruise.
Oh, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
Yes,
exciting. I like that, Chris. That sounds fun. Well, we're going to
absolutely.
Europe at the end of May and beginning of June. We're going to do Paris, we're going to go to France, we're going to go to Italy, so we're excited.
Okay. Well, I
Yeah.
know my cruise is from June 6th to the 14th. So I don't know when yours
I'm s-
is, but if it
yeah.
coincides, if you're ever there for the days there, you definitely got to hit each other up. I would love to say hello to you over there. Please.
That would be amazing. I'm so excited for you. So I have to have an update after this happens. I got to know what happens on this cruise.
Yeah, and same to you. Absolutely. I'd
Okay.
love to hear about your trip.
All right.
Okay, that's awesome. I'm a sports person, so I got to ask you a sports
Mhm.
question. Favorite sport that you like to see in person? favorite sport that you like to watch on TV. They can be the same sport.
Easy football.
Okay. All right. Are you a Browns fan?
Yes, sir.
I
We're terrible,
apologize.
and I know it.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty bad. Pretty bad. But
You
you
know,
know, Jameis Winston is very inspirational with his quote. That's for sure. That's for
he's
sure.
he's something else. That's for
N-
sure.
No question. No question he
I mean,
is.
we have talent on our team. We just have to know how to utilize it, you know?
That's very true. Very true.
There's always next year.
Now are you in the city of Cleveland? Is that where you live?
No, I'm now based out of Cincinnati.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, so
Hmm.
you are a Browns fan in Bengals territory, is what you're saying.
I am. And it can get ugly. Mhm.
It
Yeah.
could. It
Hmm.
could. Division rivals. I mean, they're very close, both
Listen,
in Ohio, so I understand.
I can take it.
You know what? I didn't have a doubt in my mind. That is for sure.
No, when you're a
Okay,
Browns fan, you're used to getting beat up. So it's fine, you know?
sure. You're absolutely right. I love that, Natalie. Last of the favorite. Favorite place that you like to eat at? Cincinnati is one of my favorite cities that I've ever been to.
Yeah.
They have one of the best
Mm,
baseball stadiums in Great American Ballpark.
yeah.
They have some really good ballpark food. So I definitely plan on coming back there. Where should I go eat when I do?
Oh, okay. So I've got different levels of like, how much money do I want to spend this weekend? You know what I mean? Um, there's a place, if you want a good burger and fries,
Yeah.
Quatman's Cafe. I think it's
Mm,
cafe. There's a couple locations. Their burgers and fries are so good, so affordable, absolutely delicious. So Quatman's for a good,
Quadmans. Okay.
yeah, burger and fries. If
Mm,
you want kind of like a middle range, kind of middle to upper price tag, I guess, would be Soto, which is really good Italian food. That's
mm-hmm.
in downtown Cincy. Very cool, rustic, kind of like wine cellar vibe when you go there. It's very neat. And then there's
Okay.
another place in Hyde Park called Alfio's, and that's a little more expensive. I think is more on the higher end, but the food is absolutely worth it. It's so good.
Mhm.
Those are my top three, probably.
Oh yeah. Well, sometimes you got to pay to play. So
That's
I'm all
right.
about that. I'm all
Or
about that. So
I make my husband pay.
as, as he should. There's no question about it. As he should. Okay.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh.
I love that. I love that. Obviously, when I do come back there, I would love to say hello to you and see you in
Yes,
person, shake your hand, and do all that. That'd be amazing.
without a doubt.
Um, so this next question I want to ask you is prior to you transitioning, which is what
Mhm,
your day to day was, right? Because like I said, you have over
mhm,
15 plus years of experience, and I'm sure you worked all different kind of shifts as a journalist. At journalist days, they're never the same. They're different
mhm,
every single day. We don't work business hour type of jobs, which is like 8 to 4, 9 to 5. No.
mm-mm.
Sometimes the hours are long. Sometimes bosses call you back in. Sometimes people hit you up on your day off, say, "Can you do this?" I mean, it's just
Yeah.
the life of a journalist. So tell me what your normal routine day to day was as a journalist, preparing for stories, getting ready to go to the office, and I'm sure it's different as well. Natalie being a reporter and an anchor, you had probably a
Yeah.
different part.
Yeah. So every station that I was at in Ohio, I played a different role. So I would either report or anchor or host if we had more of like a light-hearted series, where we'd bring live like guests in live and do food displays and talk about whatever was happening, coming up on the weekend in the city. So every day
Absolutely.
was different. I would say most recently though, I was at WLWT Channel 5 in Cincinnati for almost 8 years and everything was different there. I didn't really transition out of the reporter role there. I don't know why. I wasn't really given the opportunity to do that there for some reason. And so I ended up just reporting pretty much the whole entire time, whether it was a general assignment reporter
Mhm.
position during the day.
Sure.
So I would go
Sure.
in like around 8:30, 8:45 when I dropped my daughter off at school, and then my shift really didn't start until almost 9:30. But prior to that, you're not getting paid for it really. You're just researching, the news that's happening and what you can pitch in the morning meeting, right? So I would have to do that for general assignment reporting. Sometimes I would do the story that I pitched or two stories that I pitched, or they would just give you something. And a lot of times they just give you something because you're in Cincinnati, lots of stuff is happening, right?
Right.
So I did that, but I also did the morning shift for them. And you're familiar with that. Morning shift's a lot of breaking news. And so when I would go in at 2:30, 3 o'clock, what time did I get there? Oh, it's like a nightmare now, even think about those hours. Anyways, I think I was there by 3 a.m. I don't really know.
Lord have mercy. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I don't even remember now. I like to block that out of my mind, like it never happened.
Me
And then I
too.
would I would go in with no makeup on and my hair looked like I just crawled out of bed because I did. I'd brush my teeth and run out the door. And then they would give me a story. This is your story. I would either be in studio on something if
Mhm.
someone else was doing breaking news and there wasn't several things going on in the city. And then we would cover the morning news. And then after that, you'd have a little bit of a break and then they'd send me on a story. So before I would leave at noon or 1 o'clock that day, I would go out on a story as well, and then I would turn that story, and then that would air at the 4, 5, 6 o'clock news, something like that, you
Okay.
know? Sometimes I'd be
Okay.
live at noon, depending on if that was a big breaking news story. Sometimes I would just be out in the field, hand over my notes and all my information to the dayside reporter. Then I would do the live shot at noon so they could continue gathering information for their live shots later in the day, and I'd hit the road. That's sort of like what I was doing recently.
Got you, got you.
Yeah.
And I've had the privilege of talking to a lot of different Ohio reporters. A couple of my favorites that come off the mind. There's a reporter Whitney Harding, who's in
Okay.
Columbus, Ohio. She works for CBS. She's one of my favorites. And then Sheila Gray,
Oh,
who's somebody. Yeah,
oh,
yeah. She's one
Sheila.
of my good friends. One of my good friends for sure. So yeah,
She's a doll.
you guys are amazing out there in Ohio. Y'all, they
Yeah.
bred them pretty good out there as far as reporters go, because y'all do a
Yeah.
lot of amazing work for sure.
Thank you. There's good people here.
No question. I want to talk to you about mental health and work life balance.
Yeah.
And because this is a topic that's becoming more and more prevalent now
Mhm.
in our industry and society as a whole. I
Mhm.
think that we're talking about it more, which is great. It's amazing, but it wasn't always talked about, right? It was looked at as a
Yeah.
weakness. I want to know during all these years of doing that job, how were you able to keep your mental health strong, but also keep that work life balance? Like you said, you're a mom, a wife, a
Mhm.
daughter, you got friends. You obviously are a person that's very personable, easy to talk to. I certainly wouldn't
Thank you.
mind hanging out with you as well, but I know you about your business. So tell me, how did you keep that balance?
Oh, I didn't. I have re You're so cute. I really didn't. I am a person I have anxiety. I have terrible anxiety. I have debilitating anxiety. I have had anxiety so bad where I've had days where I couldn't even get out of bed. Like, yeah, so this is sensitive topic for me because after I had my daughter, I had anxiety as a child and I didn't know what it was. So this
Mhm.
is something that is literally part of who I am. Um, it just got worse when I became a mom. Um, yeah, and at my first TV station, after I had Bella, my daughter, my first TV
Right.
station, I was having some issues with my heart and all of these things, what I thought it was my heart. And it ended up being anxiety. I was finally diagnosed with anxiety. It was actually anxiety depression. And
Okay.
it's honestly been a struggle for me since I had my daughter. And she's now 15. And
Okay.
it goes in waves. I've been on medication for it. I've been off of medication for it because I don't want to live my life on medication. Um, I think my husband would probably prefer me to be on medication because I'm not so anxious. It gets to the point where, though, it was hard for me to even do my job. I did not want to go in the mornings because I had these anxious thoughts. I was in the studio one point, and I don't know if you know Lisa Cooney, but she was our morning anchor for so many years, and she retired probably 5 years ago, maybe. And
Okay.
I had had a panic attack literally on the set, and I couldn't even continue to speak, and I was live on air.
Oh
And
wow.
and I couldn't even catch my breath to speak, and I panicked, and she had to take over my script from the anchor desk. It it has been terrible to deal with anxiety
Right.
on top of being in this business because you're dealing with death and destruction in COVID-19 and everything. And
Sure.
so that's another reason I wanted to get out of the business because it started to be where I was more than an overprotective mom. I was like a crazy mom. You know, I was like one of those moms that was like, text me when you get there, text me when you arrive. I need to know where you are. I need this, I need that, I need it. And she was just like, whoa, like she couldn't even breathe. Um, So yeah, it was a struggle for me. It was a struggle for my family, my parents who worried about me. And now that I've left the business, I definitely still have anxiety. It's something that's always going to be with me, but I
Hmm.
don't think it's as heightened as it was
Sure,
then, you know?
sure. Absolutely. Definitely no. I mean, this can be a stressful kind of industry and stressful kind of job. Even when you
Mhm.
don't think it could be stressful, there's just moments that just come about where you just feel all kind of anxiety and stress
Yeah.
for no reason.
Oh, yeah, for
Um,
no reason.
for no reason at all.
Yeah.
I totally understand that.
Yeah, and I'm sorry that you do, because I don't ever want anyone to feel, like that. But I kind of feel like, I don't think that you and I are alone in that. I think people have anxiety and they maybe don't even realize they do, or don't even consider it anxiety, or want to acknowledge that that's what it is. But it is, you know.
Yeah, I've seen coworkers of mine. Me personally, I probably don't have a lot of anxiety about that, but I've seen it.
Hmm.
I have seen it
Hmm.
around me, and
Yeah.
I'm understanding to it because you can't expect everybody not to have it. This is a stressful kind of situation of a job, and when
Yeah.
you're always on air, when you always have a camera in your face, and you're always looked at to be on, people only see Natalie the finished product, right? Sometimes.
Right. Hmm.
That's what you on air, you talking about something, or you reporting about something, but people don't know the behind the scenes.
Right.
People don't know about your home life. Sometimes some of these hard news
Hmm.
stories that you do, sometimes you
Hmm.
carry it home with you, and it's hard to
Oh,
shake.
so
And I know that.
much.
I know that,
S-
and
So much.
I'm a person that deals with sports.
Hmm.
That's my genre. That's what I cover. That's what I write about. That's what I do. But I have seen a lot of colleagues step away because of mental health, because of anxiety, because of work life balance, and that's one of the reasons why I want
Hmm.
podcast is because I want people to know what people's stories are, but also want them to know the behind the scenes, what people
Yeah.
don't see. Like I said, they see the very beautiful woman like yourself in front of camera, talking, reporting, giving us the
Yeah.
411, but they don't know what you go home with. They don't know what you do to prepare yourself to get to that point. There's people that help
Right.
you. It's stressful, right? When we got
Yeah.
deadlines, we got to make it happen. We
Oh,
got to get back
yeah.
to the station. We got to cut this, shoot, write,
Hmm.
edit, one
Hmm.
man band. But people don't
Yeah.
see that. They don't
No,
see it.
no.
So go ahead.
And people will say, "Oh, you're in the TV news business. That must be so exciting. Oh my gosh, I would love to do that. Oh, it's so, like whatever. Do people do your makeup?" You're like, "No, no one does my makeup. I do it at 3 o'clock in the morning." Like, are you kidding me? Like
Right,
I like, do you think I want to be on a murder scene on Christmas Eve talking about a
right,
young man who was gunned down in the middle of the street of Cincinnati? Like, no, that's not fun for me. And I don't even
right,
know if that was Christmas Eve that year, if it was the day after Christmas, but I was thinking to myself, like, it was the day after Christmas. It was the morning after Christmas. And I just remember being live like every 20 minutes on this. And I was just thinking, this is someone's baby. This is someone's
right,
son. This is
right,
like sad stuff. Like, this is hardcore stuff. And
right.
that's not any news a mother, a parent, a grandmother, an aunt, anyone wants to get, a father,
Sure,
whoever,
sure.
the day after Christmas. But that's the kind of stuff that we do and that we're covering. It got to the point where it was too much. And you know what, Chris, too? In 2021,
Mhm.
the year after the pandemic, right? When things are just starting to settle down, from 2021 to 2022, I lost 3 family members.
Wow. Wow. I'm sorry to hear
Very,
that.
thank you, very close to me, very close family members. And it was like one after another, 4 to 5 months apart. It was like boom, boom, boom. And then I lost my manager at WLWT.
Right,
We lost my boss, basically my first in line boss, and he passed away unexpectedly. And it was like so hard for me to come off of all that grief and all that sadness and then to go in to work and he not be there was
right.
really, really crazy for me to wrap my mind around. So on top of all of that, on top of coming off the heels of the pandemic, on top of the anxiety that I always have anyway, I just realized like it was time for me to start to transition out. If I wasn't happy anymore, if I wasn't doing what I wanted to do, if I was dreading going in every single day, and on Sunday evenings I started to have anxiety, it was like, it was time, you know?
Absolutely. And again, appreciate your transparency on that. My condolences to your family, and for your manager as well.
Yeah,
It's
thank
not
you.
an easy topic to talk about. You're welcome. It's not an easy topic to talk about. It's not easy to
Mm-mm.
do the job. And but this is also a great segue because now I want to talk about advice. You know,
Okay.
this is a beautiful industry. It really is.
It
Uh,
is.
it's a beautiful industry for storytelling if you are passionate about it, but you got to be passionate about it for the right reasons. Sometimes
Yeah.
people, like you said, the glitz and the glamour, the makeup, they don't get into it for the right reasons and they find out that something is different. They need to know the A
Yeah.
side and the B side. What kind of
Yeah.
advice would you give someone that's a
Mm.
postgraduate, someone that's maybe an intern with a station, or anybody that wants to be
Yeah.
involved in the journalism business? What kind of advice would you give that individual?
Oh, I would definitely tell that person to follow your heart and your dreams. If it is your dream to give this a shot, do it. Go for it. You're never going to know whether or not you can make it in this business if you don't go for it. You have nothing to lose. Put
Sure.
together that demo tape. Email that news director, honey, when I applied for jobs, do you think that I went on their website and applied? No, sir. I went straight to the news director and said, this is my demo reel. This is what I can do. I would love to meet you. Are you busy Thursday at 2 p.m.? And
Mm,
I would go there. You have to promote yourself. You have to advocate for yourself. And if you believe that you can do it, then I guarantee you that you can. Because if I can do it, I, honey, anybody can do it. Let me tell you that.
no question.
But you have to work hard. You have to be willing to sacrifice, right?
Yep.
But on that same note, you have to be willing not to sacrifice you, what you hold dear, what is
Right.
important to you, your
Right.
values, your morals. You don't want to jeopardize that either. So you have to
Right.
be able to walk that line of I want this and I'm willing to do this to get there, but I'm not willing to compromise X, Y, and Z in order
Mhm.
to make it happen. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely. You
Yeah.
hit it on the head. I mean, you got to have some kind of boundaries. That's what you're talking about. You got to
Yes.
have boundaries for yourself.
Absolutely. And it's perfectly okay to have boundaries and set boundaries and make people, respect those boundaries. There's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely. Now, I know you're on the broadcast side. I've done
Mhm.
some broadcasts for sure. I'm mainly on the print side of journalism, but that's
Cool.
something that I love. I love to do print as
Cool.
well. But I did the same equivalent. Like when you're talking about
Mhm.
demo reels and getting into the broadcast,
Yeah.
I got plenty of clips to where I started making clips in college. I started working with different people in Atlanta, Georgia. I started my career in Atlanta, Georgia, working with different publications and writing and covering games and feature stories. You build up enough clips, then
Mhm.
you apply for jobs, cool, but you send them out to all the different publications and all the different people that have websites. Be like, look here, my name's Chris Drummond. I'm just
Mhm.
inquiring any position that's possible, and I did that, and I was able to get a full time opportunity from that. So yeah, you definitely got to be an advocate
Yep.
for yourself, build a portfolio for yourself, and let people know this is what I can do, and I can be an asset to
Absolutely.
you.
Absolutely.
I would also say this,
Mhm.
but I also substitute teach at times,
Oh,
Natalie. Yeah, yeah, definitely I sub teach as well. So
me
I tell them,
too.
you do. Okay, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
we'll
yeah.
go back to this. Keep talking about you.
You're good. You're good. No, I was gonna say, I'll tell my young boys and girls in the sub classes because they've known me around the city as a sports reporter
Yeah.
that um you gotta be able to try everything. Like,
Right.
try everything, in this business of journalism because being a jack of all trades, you're only gonna be an asset to a company for sure.
Yeah.
And then I also wanna tell y'all, be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Right.
That's really how I live my life. I live my life that way. So I try to advocate for that. Be comfortable being uncomfortable because every situation in life and in this industry is not gonna be a comfortable one.
No.
And you have to learn how to deal with that in a very professional manner.
Mhm.
It's gonna be coworkers that you might not be comfortable with. It's gonna be stories that you might have to do, you're not gonna be comfortable with. You may have to go
Mhm.
on holidays to be away from your family, which is not
Right.
comfortable. You may have to
Mm-mm.
uproot and move to a different city, like myself. I'm here by
Yeah.
myself. I don't have any family around, but this is something that I love to do, and I want to do
Yeah.
this wholeheartedly. So I do it passionately. And I always tell them to just be comfortable being uncomfortable, for sure.
Yeah. I think that's really good advice. How long have you been where you are?
This is year three. Year three. So since
Okay.
2022.
Okay. Wow. And
Yeah.
you're settling
Yeah.
in and you like it?
I do. I do like Minnesota. I really do. I know for a fact the part of Minnesota that I'm in, I would definitely like to kind of go up a little bit because the reason why I'm freelance and I stepped away from the full time is because I felt like that I have hit a certain point to where I wanted to kind of elevate myself. Um,
Hmm.
so I went to the bosses and I sat down with them, the publisher and the editor in chief, and I said, "Hey, I feel like that I've kind of outworked the money that you guys are paying me because you're
Yeah.
starting to pile on more work." And
Yeah.
it was different from the first year. From the first year, I was working and settling in and settling in, and then you saw what happened with the statistics and the subscriptions and the notoriety that we were starting to get, and the stories that was starting to get passed on to me as far as feature
Hmm.
stories. And I'm covering state championships, section championships. I'm covering games. I'm
Wow.
covering around. But now I
Yeah.
got to the point in year two where they were starting to give me more different type of stories and more responsibility because our sports editor had left at the end, sorry, of year one.
It's okay.
And I was like,
Um,
okay, I'm with that. I'm totally with the work. Um,
yeah.
and I wasn't asking for the Brinks truck. All I wanted to do
Right.
was to get a little bit more recognition and to pay. Well,
Yeah.
Natalie, they came, well, not they, my editor in chief, publisher left the meeting because he was on a call. My editor in chief said that, well, we think you're below average. And I was like, "You said we?" He said, No, I'm saying. I think that right now, your skills are below average." And I was like, wow, okay. There's nothing wrong with some criticism. I don't
Yeah.
have anything wrong with that. So I asked
Right.
him, I was like, so what are some ways that I can improve to not be below average? Because you've been consistently giving me more work and stuff
Right.
like that. So and this is what he said, Natalie, quote, "We do not have the tools to help you become better."
Hmm.
So, and that's what I said. I was like, okay. Um, and at that point, I was like, so I don't understand how the first year everything's good, but then in year two,
Hmm.
we're just starting out, and I'm asking for more of an increase of money. Now I'm below average.
And now I'm not worth it.
Right.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I was like, yeah, it's time to make a pivot
Yeah.
because at that point, I'm not going to get the real out of him. And if he
Right.
feels that way, I can only imagine the publisher feels that way too. So they're not really trying to give upgrades like that. So I transitioned out of that full time role and
Hmm.
I went freelance and I started covering different games around the city. They started paying me here and there. And then I got onto a network to now I'm covering professional sports, which is something that I wanted to do. I've been
That's
wanting.
awesome.
So, but you have to make that decisive decision. Again, it's a beautiful, beautiful industry. But if you don't make decisive decisions in
Yeah.
this industry, it can hinder you.
Yeah. I
Hmm.
mean, you knew your worth, right? And you were okay with saying, I know my value and I can find it. And you did.
Without
So,
question.
and again, there's nothing wrong with just making yourself feel worthy of what you're getting
Hmm.
because as as much as I loved the people I worked with, um, I worked with amazing people. There were times where I just knew that I was not being appreciated and I was being just taken advantage of and taken for
Sure.
granted. And you're just like,
Absolutely.
meh, nope, I don't need to do this. I don't want to do this. And who am I doing this for?
Right.
Them? Someone who will
Right.
replace me in a hot minute? Like, no,
Mhm.
let me let me put myself first and what I want first and let's go from there. So I think that is very admirable. I appreciate you sharing that.
Oh, no problem. No problem. I try to tell everybody the first thing you got to do is know your worth in this business.
Yeah.
Um, Nobody is going to be able to tell you what your worth is. You know when it's time
Yeah.
to move on. You know when it's time
Mhm.
to speak up.
Mhm.
A lot of
Mhm.
times you have graduates that don't want to do that because they don't want to rock the boat. You
Right.
typically have older people that do that. And I'm pretty confident in myself now. I mean, I always said
Mhm.
yes to everything in my 20s.
Yeah.
because I was in improvement mode. And most
Yeah.
time, the time you are in improvement mode when you first
Right.
start out, right?
Yeah.
But as you get older and you learn some things, you learn kind of the
Hmm.
politics of things, and then you start seeing some things. You know, your IQ only gets stronger, right?
Yeah.
Experience is the best teacher in life, and when you start experiencing some things, now you got to be like, okay, you know what? Nah, this is 2 plus 2 don't add up to 5. So
Right.
we gonna step aside. You can find somebody else for this role,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
what you will do. So,
Yeah. And you realize how thick of a skin you have. You're like, oh, like I have a thick skin. I
hmm
I can take this criticism. I can take these insults. And I can,
right,
you know, and I you can either let that defeat you or you can say, I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna be better because of it. You're not even gonna believe when I tell you this. Okay. So I was interviewing for a job. I had left, I think it was, I don't even remember, WMFD in Mansfield. I was applying at other places and I had interest across the country, but I wanted to stay in Ohio. It's really important for me to stay near family because I had Bella. And so, a lot of people, that does not how it works. Look where you are now. Like you go across wherever to get these
without
jobs,
question.
right? So to me, I was like, no, I'm going to stay in Ohio, and that is my goal. So I'd interviewed at a station. He'd brought me in, and I thought that it was an interview because it was me. It was me being like, hey, what are you doing on Tuesday afternoon at 1 p.m.? Because I wanted to get my foot in the door, get them my tape, introduce myself, and leave. Well, then I thought he was interviewing me. So I go in and the news director's reviewing my demo tape like right in front of me, and he shuts it off and he's like, he lectures me about what I did wrong, literally everything I did wrong, and not a compliment along the way. And then he said, you can't just be a pretty face in this business. You have to have substance.
Wow. Okay.
It was like, excuse me? I don't even think I'm
Right.
a pretty face. Like, why did you say that to me? Like he thought that I thought I was, and I was just gonna sit in the chair and just a bebop behind
Right.
the anchor desk. Like,
Right.
I was so offended and I was so hurt and I was so mad, Chris. I was like, this guy. So I just had to, I left and my husband was waiting for me in the car because we were gonna go to lunch afterwards. And he's like, how'd it go? And I think he just knew by my face.
Oh
I
yeah,
was
something's wrong.
something's wrong. And
hmm
I told him, and my husband was just like, no, he did not. And I'm like, yeah, he did. I don't know why I remember that, but I do. I
I do.
remember what he said. You do, don't you? You don't forget. And then you
Yeah.
think to yourself, dang it, not only am I going to let you think I'm a pretty face, but I'm going to show you that I have substance.
Right.
And when I left there, I thought, I will never work for him at any station he is ever at. And I know exactly who he is. And I would never work for him because of his mentality like that.
Yeah.
And then I left and got an interview at WTOL 11 in Toledo. And I went there, which was a bigger station
Yep.
anyway. And I went
Yep.
there and I was successful there. And I loved the team there. They utilized my talents there. And when I had left and after fulfilled my contract, I came to Cincinnati for my husband's job at that time. I fulfilled my contract. And at the time, I was anchoring their Fox show. And so
Okay.
I was just like, mm-mm, I have substance, sir. You know,
You definitely
they
do.
they saw my substance because
Yep.
so I guess what I'm saying is if someone doesn't see your worth or doesn't see your value,
Yeah.
they're just a blip in your life. That is just a little blip in your life. You may not forget
Right.
it, but it's there for a reason. God put that moment in your life for a reason.
Without question.
That's
Yep.
that's just how I feel. So then I went to Toledo and it was amazing there. And then I left there and I spent 8 years in Cincinnati. So to me, I'm like, meh, I hope he sees me and saw me and was like, oh my gosh, I remember speaking to her. And I hope he remembers that he told me
He should. He
that I
should.
had
And
no
I'm probably sure.
substance.
I'm sure. I'm almost sure he probably did. No question
The
about it.
nerve. The
But
nerve.
people, and that's what it is. People are just sent here sometimes as reminders to tear you up or to tear you down.
Right.
And you're
I'm
wondering,
telling you.
like, dude, like, what the hell is your problem? Like,
Yeah.
what does that have to do with anything journalistic? I mean, I don't
Right.
understand why would you say something off the wall like that? Like,
No.
like in your instance, it was about your appearance.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, for him to say that you just can't be nothing more than a pretty face, that's ridiculous for him to say because
Yeah.
number one, you're not just a pretty face. You're much more than that.
Thank you.
Anybody is, and you're welcome. No question.
Yeah.
Anybody who does
Anybody
journalism,
is.
anybody is who does journalism, right? And to
Exactly.
base that first thing out of
Hmm.
everything that you did in the audition or talked about in the audition, it's just asinine. It really is.
Hmm.
But with that being said, I want to transition now to our
Okay.
interactive game, which is
Oh,
called This or That. So
oh, let's go.
what this is I'm gonna throw some things at you,
Okay.
and Natalie, you get to choose this or that. So we're gonna start off with the first one. Now, this question I gotta
Okay.
ask you: do you like chicken?
Yeah.
Okay, so which chicken place would you rather choose to go eat at? KFC or Popeyes?
Popeyes,
That's my girl. I like that. Girl, you on point like a period right now. I
without
like
a
that.
doubt. Hmm.
Okay, here we go. Which chicken wing sauce would you
Ooh.
rather put on the chicken? Barbecue or lemon pepper?
Ooh. Oh, barbecue.
Okay, do you like your wings wet or dry?
Wet.
Do you like your wings bone in or boneless?
It's not a wing unless it's got a bone.
Okay, okay now. So you like to get a little messy, is what you
Right.
saying.
I mean, a boneless wing is just a chicken tender cut.
That's okay. I love the meat. I love it both ways. It don't matter. I love the meat. I put any sauce on that thing. That's what I would do. Now, but you like to get a little messy eating wings, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I love wings. Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, I'll
okay.
eat boneless wings for sure, but my favorite are like bone in.
I love it.
Yeah.
Mine too, by the way. That's what's up. I like that. These next four have to do with music concerts you rather go to. So here we go.
Okay.
Which music concert would you rather attend? Would you rather go see Boys the Men or New Edition?
Oh, no. Okay. I'm going to say Boys to Men.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Which
Yeah.
music concert would you rather go see? Would you rather go see Brandy or Monica?
Monica.
Ooh, okay. I like that. I
Hmm.
like that.
Monica.
Which music concert, Natalie, would you rather go see? Casey Musgraves or Carrie Underwood?
Casey Musgraves.
Wow, you decisive in that. Okay.
Hmm. Yeah, I like
Okay.
her.
I like her too.
Hmm.
Absolutely. She's beautiful and she has a great voice.
Yeah. Yes, very talented, but she's different. I like that she's different. I like that she has an old school country vibe, the hair, this everything. I like her a lot.
Okay. Got you. Which music concert would you rather go to? Would you rather see Faith Hill or the Dixie Chicks?
I have to pick. Ooh, uh,
Oh, damn. Said, do you
Faith.
have to pick? Oh, man. Okay. Hold
I'm a,
on.
I'm a savage. Uh, Faith Hill.
Okay. Well, listen, I'll throw you a bonus one. Just
Okay.
I'll throw you a bonus one.
Yeah,
Okay,
let
here
me
we go.
redeem myself here. Let me
Right.
redeem myself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Which artist would you rather go see? Chris Brown or Usher?
Oh, I should say Usher, but I'm gonna say Chris Brown.
Okay. I'm with you on that.
It's probably controversial, right?
No, not at
You
all.
don't
Because
think so?
both of them are really talented and good.
But
So,
I'm like Usher's age. You know, they're probably like
well,
I
well,
should
well,
pick him. I grew up with
well
his music.
yeah, Breezy's not that far, but not as far behind. I wouldn't think. From Usher. As far as
I
age go, he's
think
probably closer to my age. Cause
I
I'm,
think
yeah.
Chris Brown's I'm a dancer. I have danced since I was like 6 years old. And
Oh,
so, yeah, so I studied dance all throughout my whole entire life. Chris Brown, I am mesmerized by him when he's on stage because I think he's a phenomenal dancer and performer.
he is.
So that's why
He
I
is.
would choose him.
I love it. Okay, well, that's what's up. Well, now, which sport would you rather watch on TV?
Mhm.
Basketball or baseball?
Ooh, ooh, on TV, basketball.
Okay, I'm with you on that. Which sport would you rather play? Badminton or bowling?
Would I rather play bowling? I
Are
can
you a
never
good
hit
bowler?
the thing with it. I can never. My hand-eye coordination is.
I feel it.
Am
Yeah, I feel
am
it.
I a
Not.
good
Are
bowler?
you a good
No.
bowler?
Mm-mm. No. I think it's
Mm,
fun.
mm. I got you. I got you. Now, do you need the bumpers?
No.
Okay, that's good. Then we
No,
can then I can respect it because some
I'd
people have.
rather get a gutter.
Oh, you never hit a gutter?
No, I'd rather get a gutter than
I'd rather
get
get a
bumpers.
gutter.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if I'm gonna just stink it up, I'd rather just stink it up as an adult with no
Mhm.
bumpers.
Yeah, the only time I want to see adults with bumpers, you better have a toddler with you. You better have a toddler with you. That's it. You better have somebody of a kid with you. I mean, a miniature me, it better be Webster size.
Right.
You better have a kid with you like that size for sure. No question.
Exactly. Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Um, do you like desserts?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna name four categories for you, Natalie, and you get to
Okay.
choose one of these that you'll
Okay.
never eat again. Okay, so here we go.
Never eat again.
Absolutely. Here we go.
Okay.
First
Okay.
one is ice cream.
Ooh.
The second one is cookies. The third one is cake. The last one is candy. Which one are you getting rid of?
Candy.
That you know what? Was there any other damn answer to choose? Was there any other answer to choose?
No,
Mm-mm.
because I love candy.
I listen. I love all four of them too. But if one got to go, candy, bye
Candy.
bye. You got to go. What's your
Candy.
favorite ice cream?
Okay. Let me think here. Oh, in Cincinnati, we have a place called Agla Macy's, and we have
I
a
heard of that.
place so good. We have a place called Graders, which is very good, which
Okay.
is like based out of Cincy, but it's like across Ohio, and I don't know where else. But anyway, at Graders, I love their s'mores ice cream. It's so good. At
Hmm.
Agla Macy's right now, they have a butterscotch, and it is like so good. Those
Okay.
two. That's
Okay.
my top ice cream.
I love it. I love that. I would say cookies and cream for me, and
That's a good one.
chocolate chip cookie dough is my second.
Yeah, that's a good one too. I mean, I've never met an ice cream that I would turn down. You know what I mean?
This is very true as well. Very true. Except nuts. Anything with nuts because I'm allergic. Can't do
Oh,
nuts.
okay. Oh, yeah, no. I mean, I
Yeah,
love butter pecan and stuff, but I don't have a nut allergy, so.
I got you. Say less. Okay. Do you like
Mm.
potato chips?
Yes.
Okay. Same kind of format. Four
Uh,
brands. You got to choose one of these to get rid of. Okay.
okay. Yeah.
Here you go. First one is Lay's. The second one is Doritos. The third one is Ruffles. The last one is Pringles. Which one are you getting rid of that you'll never eat again?
I think I'm gonna get rid of Ruffles.
Oh hell no. No, you did not just say Ruffles. Oh,
I mean, you made me pick something. And
oh,
here's
I
what I
did.
was thinking. Okay, listen, I love Lay's. Like
Uh-huh.
Lay's, regular salty Lay's with chip dip is like my favorite. And then
Okay.
I love Pringles. I love the sour cream and onion ones. And then when I
Mm-hmm.
have taco salad, I love Doritos in it. So I would be sad if I didn't have those. And to
Mm-hmm.
me, the Ruffles, I mean, I love them, but you made me choose.
I did. I did. But you said that with so much damn pride in your voice. You was like Ruffles. I was like, what is going on here? Like of the four, you listen, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this, Natalie. I'm sorry to be
Oh,
judgmental. I don't mean to judge, but
uh-oh.
listen, we've been vibing all
Uh-oh.
podcast long, and I feel
Oh
like
no.
we can't have it all. We gotta
I take it
disagree on
back.
something.
I take it back. No, wait, what would you get rid of? Pringles? Probably.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that
Yeah, I
was a
would.
close second. It was a close second.
I would. But see, listen, we would be robotic if we agreed on everything. We have
That's
to
right.
have something to
Yeah.
disagree on.
Yeah.
Now, Ruffles sour cream and cheddar is the best chip ever made.
Really? Oh,
Ever
wait,
made.
yes, the sour cream and cheddar ones. That
Yeah.
was what was on my mind, but I was like, I guess I
Now,
would probably take those over Doritos if I'm being honest.
now you definitely made a great point with the Doritos and the taco salad. Yes, that's great.
You know?
No question. No question about that. Those are good.
Okay.
Um, are you a salt and vinegar person?
Yes.
That explains it. Okay, that explains a
Mhm.
lot.
Yeah.
Yep, it does. Because salt and vinegar is the second worst chip ever made.
Oh,
It is the second worst chip ever made.
second
On the planet,
worst. What's
Funyuns.
first?
Funyuns.
Oh, get out of town. I'll eat a whole bag of those.
Okay. Well, Natalie, it's been fun. I would just say that right now.
I'll see myself out.
Right, right.
I
Okay,
told
we're
you
gonna
I love chips.
we're gonna have to stick with like burgers and fries if we ever go out to eat, and like ice cream. We're gonna have to stick with that. That's for sure.
Okay,
That'd be amazing.
fair enough.
Okay, you did pretty good on the this
Yay!
or that. You did pretty good. Okay, I just want to let you
Okay,
know for
thank you.
sure. Okay. Except for your salt and vinegar and Funyun whole bags. I can't. I wish I could slap all those chips off of the shelf and
Oh,
step on the bags. I would.
oh. Well,
Yeah,
I
I
would
would.
just pop it open and then just
I know you
shake
would.
all
You
the
probably eat. You
crumbs
would
in my
all the
mouth.
crumbs. You're right.
Yeah,
You
for
would.
sure. Oh
Okay.
yeah.
I can respect that. What is some advice that someone has gave you, whether it could be life advice or
Hmm.
journalism advice or anything? What's some advice someone gave you that you hold on dearly to?
Oh, mm. I don't know if it was specific advice, but I would just say the circumstances that my parents have instilled into me. Both of them came from, I mean, my dad was raised without his dad. Um, and
Okay.
he was primarily raised by his sister and her husband, the two people that I lost that were significant to me a few years ago.
Mhm.
And my mom was raised in a broken home and a lot of history there. And I think what they taught me was just that no matter your circumstances in life, that you have choices in life, right? Like we have choices that we can either dwell on things or have this victim mentality or and you can be victims of life and circumstances. I believe that wholeheartedly.
Sure.
You can either dwell in that, you can sit in that,
Mhm.
or you can overcome those obstacles. That would probably be and that's not advice, that's just what I was raised knowing. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think that would probably be my best life advice, even though they unknowingly gave me that as advice.
I feel that. I do. Um, Let me take you back to the day that you made the decisive decision to step away from
Mhm,
the news
mhm.
journalism field. This is a
Yes.
two-part question. I would love to
Okay.
know what, how long did it take for you to make that decision? What was the final like straw, I should say? And when you made that decision, um, like, was there any kind of like, oh man, or has there been, I should say, any kind of like, I miss doing what I do?
Mhm.
Do I want to go back to it, maybe fill in at times? Or are you just happy being a wonderful mother, wonderful wife at home and just being at the crib?
Yeah, a couple years I debated it. I mean, during the
Okay.
pandemic, I thought, is this what I wanna do? It was so much. And I only worked part-time.
Mm,
Excuse me. I only worked part-time at the time, and it was still too much because I have a daughter who lives with a rare life-threatening condition. She was born with it, and
okay.
I would be scared to bring home this deadly virus, and every day it was weighing on me and weighing on me and weighing on me. And so that is when the idea started of I don't want to do this anymore. I'm not
Sure.
doing what I want to do anyways. I'm not on the anchor desk, which is what I wanted to do and which I was to me better at doing than reporting because I didn't have a love for reporting. So I would say a couple years before I left is when I really started wanting to leave. If I wasn't going to be doing what I wanted to be doing, right? I know that sounds like snotty. If I'm not going to do what I want to do, I'm not going to be here. Well, that's kind of how I felt. I felt like I got one shot at life, right?
Hey girl,
So
speak your
so
truth. That's all
if
you need to
I
do.
sound spoiled, then I'm gonna sound spoiled. If I'm not gonna do what I wanna do, then I'm not gonna do it. And so I decided to leave. Yeah. So since then, Chris, what have I done? What have I done? I thought
Yeah.
to myself, I want to do like a 9 to 5 and I want to sit at a desk and I want to be a normal person. And so I did that at a doctor's office for 5 months, a dentist office. Amazing people, amazing people. And I was like, whoa, I cannot sit here at a desk. Like, this is not me, you know? So after 4 or 5 months, I left and I ended up being a teacher's aide at an elementary school for special
Okay.
needs students.
Wow. Okay.
And I did that all of the last year, school year, and it was the best job I've ever had in my entire life.
That's awesome.
And yeah, and so the hours sort of changed for me, and it wasn't going to be conducive to me being able to get my daughter from school and all these things that I like to be able to do now. Um, so now I just substitute, like we were saying. So I substitute teach or teacher's aide here in the Cincinnati area, and I
Mhm.
primarily work with children with special needs.
I love it.
I
I
love
love it.
it. Thank you. I
Yeah.
love it.
No, now listen, you will be an awesome, awesome teacher. You're an awesome advocator. So obviously you'll be an awesome teacher as well.
Thank you.
We need more teachers like that. I know teachers definitely need help all throughout the school year. That's why
Yeah.
I got the teaching bug myself, like that, just reporting. And people always ask me questions about journalism. Although I
Yeah.
do substitute teach at all different kind of subjects. I just try to follow their game plan. I'm no
Right.
really buff on a whole lot of school subjects, but I'm
Yeah.
just a body that's there that's willing to pass out different things and willing to go through the lesson plan that full-time teachers do. I have a 3-year sub teaching license. It ends in
Awesome.
2026 for me.
I'm
Um,
26. Okay. That's awesome. I'm so proud of you for doing that.
oh well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm in school getting my master's.
Wow.
And so I want to be able to eventually probably teach full time, get my
Wow.
master's in professional writing. So I complete my program next May. And yeah, so I'm actually doing my capstone on the inequalities of women's sports reporting, as far as
Wow.
opportunity, pay,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
those are the three things. So I'm going to be writing a 5 to 6 thousand word paper on that, and talking to
Chris.
yeah, talking to all different kind of people in the industry, whether they're national or local. I'm lining them up as we speak. It's going to
Wow.
start in January, and yeah, we're going to go from there.
Wow. Good for you. You're a little smart cookie, aren't you?
I'm trying to do as much as I possibly can to open as many doors as I possibly can because I love this podcasting thing. I love talking to
Good
wonderful
for you.
people like you, and I love just doing all kinds of stuff. I never want to just be in a box.
Mhm.
Like, don't put me in a box.
Right.
I could do multiple things, and I want to
Yeah.
do it for sure.
I can see that. I can see that with you.
Well,
You do a great job with your podcast.
well, thank you very much. I
Of
appreciate that.
course. Of course.
We are getting towards the end of the
Okay.
podcast, so I want to be able to do some rapid fire with you. Okay.
Okay.
So that means
Yes.
the first thing that comes to your mind, I want
Oh
you to
boy.
just blurt out the answer. Okay.
Well, okay. I will see if you like me after this. After my
Okay. Well, right now,
potato
I love
chip
you.
fiasco.
Well, I love you right now. So like is cool. Now, if we get to hate, we're going to have a problem. So that's,
Okay.
that's just what it is.
We
Here we
will get
go.
there. Okay.
Okay. Now, chicken or ribs?
Fried chicken? Is that an option? If it's grilled, I want ribs.
It can be fried or baked.
Fried chicken.
Okay. Pancakes or waffles?
Waffles.
Okay. Burgers or tacos?
Burgers.
Okay. Favorite color?
Hunter green.
Mm. Favorite TV show?
Real Housewives of Orange County or Beverly Hills or any of the aboves.
Of course. I haven't met a woman who doesn't like any one of those type of shows.
So good. So good.
That's what they say. I haven't dipped into it myself yet, but that's what they tell me.
Waiting
Okay.
for Real Housewives of Cincinnati. Hello.
Well, you could definitely be on that one. That's for sure. No
Be the
question.
only one.
Favorite alcoholic drink?
Oh, Moscow Mule.
I keep hearing about that drink and I've never had it before, but I keep hearing about it. That's for
You
sure.
must. A ginger
I'm a
beer, isn't it? It's like that, like a little, you get like a
Mhm.
little kick back here from the ginger. Oh, it's so
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Okay, I'm a Hennessy person, so I like my Hennessy and my wine. I like my wine too. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Yeah, I like a good martini, but I'm not, wine and I don't get along anymore.
I
But
understand. I can get it. Okay. Favorite sandwich?
sandwich?
Hmm.
Oh, I love a good sandwich. Um, Favorite sandwich? Probably like a club, like a really good turkey, ham, bacon, lettuce, tomato, extra mayonnaise.
Okay, I'm with you on that. All right.
Mhm.
Favorite card game?
Hard game. Well, I would probably say something fun that we would play with my daughter, which we like playing spoons.
Okay.
You ever play
Spoons.
spoons? It's
Yep,
cute.
I have. I have.
Yeah.
No question. Okay. Dominoes or spades?
Spades.
You know how to play spades?
No.
Why you answer that with such like I love the confidence that you answer these damn questions.
because because I don't like dominoes.
Okay.
I'll play
Okay,
anything other
Natalie.
than dominoes. I don't like taking the time, not with my listen, I have major ADD. I don't have time to sit there and set them things up. And if
I
one of
feel
them
you.
falls and knocks over six of them, the game over anyway. So spades. I've heard of spades. I've never played it.
Okay, leave it to me. Well, we're gonna get you right. All right, we're gonna get
Okay.
you right. Here you go.
Okay.
Favorite board game?
Ooh. I always love categories.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty
It's a
good. I
fun
like
one.
that.
Yeah.
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 Okay. If you had three people to take with you, so that's three plus one, on
Mm.
a vacation, where would you go and who would you take?
Oh my gosh. I would take, of course, my daughter Bella, my
Mhm.
husband, of course, because we love spending time with each other. And I would take my mom because my dad isn't one to fly and he doesn't like crowds. And my mom is always never does anything kind of for herself. And I know that she would love to see different places and she would be adventurous. I know she would. So I would probably take her with us to Europe and to see the Eiffel Tower and things like that. I think she would really, really enjoy it.
Okay, I love that. That's a great answer.
Yeah.
If you had a choice to choose three artists or three songs that you could listen to on repeat and never get tired of, who would those three artists or three songs be?
Easy. Dolly Parton, Whitney Houston, Justin Timberlake.
I love it. I love it. You are about the fastest person that's answered that question because most people just be like, "Oh, I don't know which one to pick." No, you were decisive. I like that, man.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
love
I
it.
there's
Okay.
no one like Dolly Parton, and there's no one like Whitney Houston. So,
Two
yeah.
iconic people, obviously working
Yeah.
at 9 to 5. I love that
Oh,
song.
they're so
Jolene with
good.
Dolly Parton. I
Oh,
Want to Dance with Somebody from Whitney
uh,
Houston. And then obviously you said Justin Timberlake. You can't go wrong with
yeah.
JT. So I
I
love
love
that.
him. Yeah.
If you had a choice of genre to cover or anchor on or report on, which genre would you pick? News, music or entertainment, sports, or weather?
Music and entertainment.
I like that.
For the longest time, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be an entertainment reporter. I wanted to be on E! News. I wanted to work the red carpets. That's what I want to this day to be able to do. Like, that's what I would love.
I'm a huge musical buff. I love theater to the
Mhm.
core. I acted in two plays in high school. Les Miserables was one of them, and
Love
also High
it.
School Musical. So my top three would be Wicked, Hamilton, and Hairspray. What are your top three musicals?
Wicked, Aida, and let me think. Probably Les Mis.
Absolutely. I had the Drink With Me solo. If you remember the Drink With Me solo in Les Mis,
Yeah, you
that was
did.
me. Yep, in high school, that was me. I had that.
Wow.
And obviously, Wicked is definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, so good.
I have not seen the movie yet, but I will
So
eventually
good.
see it. Okay.
It's beyond. It's so good. Have you ever heard of Aida though? You have to
No,
look
I
up
have
that
not.
musical. It's no longer around. I wish it would come back, but it's Elton John and Tim Rice, and the music is beautiful, and the story is beautiful, and you got to look it up.
Okay, I definitely will. Say less.
Okay.
This is a bonus rapid fire because that was the end, but I got a bonus
Okay.
one. Was
Okay.
Bella named after Twilight?
No, I'd never even seen the movie.
Really?
Seriously. And the movie was, I think, popular when she was born. And everyone asked me that. And do you want to
It
know
was very
something
popular.
funny?
What?
I had the name Bella picked out when I was 16 years old if I ever had a little girl.
Oh,
And if I
okay.
had a little boy, I had the name Brady picked out. And it just so happened that I married my husband named Brad, and they were all B names.
Mm, I love that. I
Yeah.
do. It's pretty
So,
awesome, pretty amazing.
yeah.
This has been a really, really dope conversation, Natalie, of just learning about how you came into the industry, learning about your transition out of the industry. Um,
Mhm.
really being transparent with me, which I really do appreciate. And then gave some great advice, and really some
Thank
great
you.
answers on the get to know you questions. I'm really
Thank you.
happy that I got a chance to talk to you because I think obviously you are very articulate, very passionate, and a wonderful person to be around and learn from about
Thank
this
you.
industry as well. So, again,
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you coming on. And as I always do with every guest that I have on here, my last question to you is there anything else you would like to add about yourself, the industry, or anything at all before we conclude?
Uh, no, I think you did such a wonderful job chatting with me. You do a great job with your podcast. I wish you nothing but success. And the fact that you wanted to talk to little old me just means everything to me.
Well, I definitely appreciate you saying that. I
Of
want you to
course.
enjoy the rest of your Wednesday and the rest of
Thank
your
you.
week. If I don't get a chance to tell you, which I'm pretty sure I will, but if I don't, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays
Merry
to you.
Christmas. Thank you. Happy holidays.
Um,
Merry Christmas to anyone who's watching. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. And know that I love you. I love you lots.
Absolutely. We would definitely stay in touch. Take care, Natalie.
Take care. Bye.